I have 3 tips to hopefully save you years in your singing journey. 1. Understand that there is very little blanket advice that will always apply. As teachers, we sometimes have to simplify or make generalizations. For example, I might tell a student, drop your jaw for every high note. And while that's intended to help them, it could be limiting later on. Let's say they're attempting a high note in head voice or falsetto, and they want it to be very quiet. They might not need to drop their jaw for that, and maybe dropping their jaw would make that sound a little harder to achieve. But if they've internalized drop your jaw for every high note, they might do it and then be frustrated or confused when it's not working. Another really common example has to do with laryngeal stability or the concept of singing with a neutral larynx. You might come across this advice for good reason. Beginning singers sometimes have the tendency to get shouty as they sing higher, which occurs when the larynx rises and the muscles over-squeeze. To correct this, your teacher might introduce the concept of a neutral larynx or even a low larynx and give you exercises like a dopey bo 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 or gee 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 gee. These exercises are extremely useful for a time as they retrain your larynx to not always follow the pitch up, and you can access higher pitches without shouting. However, the belief that you need to always sing with a neutral larynx can be very limiting. Once you've broken the habit of shouting, you can let the larynx rise if it feels fine and produces the tone quality you're going for. In fact, some styles of singing require a slightly higher larynx position, and forcing a low larynx makes your job much harder. Belting, for example, simply won't work with a low larynx. To feel how you might wean off of an exercise like this, let's start with a dopey low larynx sound and then move towards a more balanced sound on the same warm-up pattern. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button. It'll really help us out. If you want to know more about improving your voice quickly, head to 30daysinger.com/saveyears and enter your email to receive a free PDF of the 25 steps to become a better singer. First, dopey low larynx. Think Patrick Star. And here's our pattern. Boo, 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 boo. Really dopey. Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo. Just a few of these. Back down. Now think deep and rich, but not necessarily dopey or yawny. Let's change the syllable to ba or ma. Ba 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 ba. Ready and sing. Ba 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 ba. And now try be as in bed. We don't want to shout, but you might feel the larynx sit a little bit higher and the tone become a little brighter. Be, 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 be. Ready and sing. Be, 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 be. take some risks. All good voice teachers want their students to be safe. Vocal health is my #1 priority for you because you have an irreplaceable instrument. For that reason, we're sometimes guilty of fear-mongering. In fact, I basically haven't yelled or screamed since elementary school when my voice teacher heard hoarseness in my voice and warned me about vocal nodes. But the reality is you can take some risks as long as you know your limits and can return to a healthy balance. I often tell students, I don't want you to ignore pain when singing, and I don't want you to push through feelings of discomfort, even if it sounds good, because it won't be sustainable. But it's okay to feel some pain or discomfort so you know where the line is. If you're paralyzed by the fear of developing nodes, you might not let yourself really explore your voice and try new things. Almost every new skill requires a little bit of risk-taking. Range extension. You risk cracking and sounding weird. Belting, you again risk cracking, shouting, and maybe experiencing some pain or strain as you find the right balance. Exploring different tone qualities and genres also feels a bit risky because you're using your voice in a different way and you're sounding different than you're used to. I know truly how personal and precious the voice is. I know how scary it feels to risk cracking or sounding weird or feeling even the slightest bit of pain. And don't get me wrong, pain is a signal you should pay attention to and never push past. But I also know how limiting this kind of fear is when it comes to singing. Your voice is flexible and you are capable of making many different sounds, so don't be afraid to explore. And 3, repetition and minor adjustments are powerful. If you can't do something on the first try, do you immediately stop and give up? If so, that's a typical response, but we can do better. Your first step can simply be pausing and trying it again. If it still doesn't work, then try again with a minor adjustment. For example, you can try a different vowel, dynamic, tone quality, or even visualization. I'll walk through each of these and invite you to sing along if you'd like. Let's say I'm working on head voice, and this happens. Ooh, ooh. My voice cuts out. First, I'm just going to try the exercise again. Ooh. Maybe it works. Ooh. Maybe it doesn't. Ooh. So now, I'll try something different. I'll try a different vowel. Ah. Maybe that worked. Maybe I'll try a different dynamic or volume. Maybe a little bit quieter. Ooh. Maybe I'll try a different tone quality. Ah. Maybe a different mouth opening or shape. Ooh. I might try thinking about the exercise or that specific pitch differently. For example, instead of thinking up with the pitch, ooh, I'll think down or even back. Ooh, ooh. Of course, you don't need to try all of these modifications, just 1 or 2, but you might discover that a pitch is accessible for you, it just needs to be approached in a different way. And that's a great feeling. Thank you for watching, and I wish you all the best in your singing journey.